Hello everybody, and welcome. If you're new to the channel, I'm Jess. We're the Bear River Homestead. Today I just wanted to give you a really quick update on our garden. I know it's been a minute since I've been on here and talked to y'all, but as it is every summer, work gets super crazy. We're gearing up for another year of homeschooling, and you know, something's always got to give. So unfortunately, I just don't always have time to make a video for you. But today, it's happening. We're doing it. I'm going to show you the garden. It is not what I was originally hoping it would be. And that is actually because we have decided to do some pretty intense work to the exterior of the house. So all of my grow bags have basically had to be condensed into a very, very small area to avoid them getting crushed by siding and lumber and everything else. So as far as aesthetics, it's definitely not what I was going for, but that's okay because everything's growing and producing food, and that's the important part, right? So we're going to start with the actual in-ground bed that is right up against the house. Kind of a shade, cool weather garden. It's where I've got all my brassicas, and they are doing fantastic. So I'm going to show you that first. Okay, so this is the only in-ground bed in the backyard. We've got kale and radishes. These are French breakfast radishes, and they actually are really needing to come out. I think they're about as big as they're going to get, and if you let them stay in the ground too long, they start to get really woody. We love radishes. They grow really, really well here. And of course, anything that's going to grow in our climate, we try to take advantage of. So lots of radishes, red cabbage, more kale, more radishes. And you will notice we are having a little bit of leaf damage, but it's pretty minimal. And it's such a small bed that we're just not too gosh awful worried about it. As long as we're harvesting more than we're losing, we're pretty happy. Got some rainbow Swiss chard, a little bit of sun damage. But it is doing pretty well overall. More chard. Our broccoli is looking fantastic. I was a little worried because it got hot here really, really quickly, and I was afraid it was going to bolt. I've got one head that looks like it's trying over here. It's gotten really loose, so I'm probably going to go ahead and harvest him. But the rest of them are looking wonderful. Got more kale everywhere. A little bit more radish. That back there is a huge dandelion. I've decided to leave him. They are edible, so they're okay. So now I'm going to show you our grow bags. So this area is where we have our grow bags and our other containers. And I really just kind of went wild with planting. If you've seen some of the previous videos, you know that my kids decided to help out with our vegetable starts this year and pulled the tags out of all of them. So I'm not 100% sure what anything is. This is obviously some type of squash. I think back here, probably a cucumber. And obviously this is a tomato. This tomato looks so puny because we actually got a late frost, of course, and it died back like to the ground. I thought it was done for, and it has come back. So hopefully we'll get something. Got some lettuce that's still doing really well. Over here, we actually have two little okra plants. I have been able to get one okra pod here. It just doesn't stay hot enough long enough, but I keep trying because I'm stubborn like that. These are dragon tongue green beans. They haven't started blooming yet, but overall they're doing really well. More mystery squash, I don't know. Then over into this one, you can see this one's actually doing really, really well. More dragon tongue beans, more, I don't know, mystery squash. There are actually some little carrots in there. I was kind of afraid of planting this intensively in these grow bags, but I have been using quite a bit of organic fertilizer, and we do water regularly, and they are doing really, really well. So got a couple of tomato plants over here, and these are cherry type tomatoes. You can see we've already got fruit. I know some parts of the world, y'all are already enjoying the fruits of your labor, and we're still waiting, but the tomatoes are here, so that's all that matters. And then over here we have just regular containers. So these are the hanging baskets. I did have to take them down because, as I said, we're doing work to the exterior of the house, but they have nasturtiums and more of the dragon's tongue beans, and they are doing really well. Again, I am having to water regularly because these are pretty small containers, but so far so good. Got some pepper plants over here, and these are ones that I started. More pepper plants. This is a purple bell. That's the only one that I can identify. More mystery squash, and these are watermelon. Our watermelons did not survive the transplant, so I just planted more from seed. They're super tiny, obviously. I don't know that they're going to have enough time to produce anything, but we're trying. More mystery squash. I will be so glad when they start producing fruit and I can actually identify them. I don't know. More green beans and nasturtiums. And the nasturtiums, both the flowers and leaves are edible. They have kind of a spicy, almost like a radish taste. They're really, really good in salads. And this is another tomato plant that got hit really hard by the late frost. But it has come back. And then another pepper plant that we started, and it's actually got little blooms on it. I'm so excited. And I'm looking at this guy over here, and I feel like maybe this is a cucumber. You see those tendrils? Maybe a cucumber. That'd be awesome. And then there's one more thing I want to show you. Okay, so this hot mess, we have thyme right here, and then this behemoth is cilantro that is flowering. We're going to let it go to seed and harvest the coriander. But this down here is what I'm really excited to show you. Aren't those pretty? These are the tree spinach. They are in little teacups because they're still in their little peat pots. And they are getting ready to go in more long-term containers, but they are doing really, really well. I have never grown this before, and I really wasn't sure what to expect, so I'm super excited. They are beautiful, beautiful plants, and from what I've read, they are going to get massive. They are perennial, so I'm really excited to be growing these. Okay guys, now we are going to head out to the front, and I will show you our in-ground bed out there. Okay, so this is our in-ground bed right by our front porch. We've got some marigolds back here. We've got onions that are doing really, really well. I threw in a few nasturtium seeds because they're just great to have. Yet another mystery squash plant. I feel like maybe these are zucchini. This plant is really, really neat. It's not edible, but it is, oh goodness, I knew I was going to blank out on the name. It's like a hardy, I want to say an Arctic plant? I don't know. But it is drought resistant, and it is hardy down to negative 30 or 40. And it has these really, really pretty little flowers that close up at night. Kind of looks like a succulent. Well, I guess it is a succulent. So I'm excited to have this. Just to add a little bit of color. It's deer resistant, which is huge, especially in the front yard where we have no fencing. And these squash, the spines on the leaves definitely help. And the deer do not like the onions. So that's why These are out here. They are strategically placed, even though it looks like a hot mess. This is all stuff that the deer are not very eager to eat. And then I have the same plant, but in a purple and white flower. Absolutely love them. They're so pretty. And our mystery squash out here are just doing fantastic. They're doing fantastic. I did put compost out when I initially planted out here because the soil is so just deficient in organic matter. So I did put compost, and I have used organic fertilizer, but otherwise just regular waterings, more nasturtiums. They've become my favorite flower by far. And then real quick, I'm going to show you what I picked up. Look at this. Oh, I wish you guys could smell these flowers. They're amazing. But this is a lemon tree. And look at all those little lemons. When I first got it, I was pretty paranoid because, let's see, it was doing this a lot. It was like dropping fruit. The fruit were turning yellow and then dropping when they were super tiny. But from what I've read, that's actually totally normal. The Meyer lemons produce way more fruit than they can actually support, so they do drop quite a bit of it. So as long as I've got a few of these nice big green ones holding on, I'm not going to worry too much. Haven't had this plant for very long. So I think it's doing okay. I don't see any like huge signs. It wasn't in great shape when I got it, but it was the last one. And a lemon tree is something that I've been wanting for quite some time. So I just went ahead and grabbed it and thought, well, I can nurse it back into prime health. But that's it. That's what we've got right now. Everything is growing. Hopefully the heat sticks around for a while and we don't get hit with an early frost. Always a possibility in our neck of the woods. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And as always, happy homesteading.